when we talk about the process of comprehension and about the text comprehension tests normally used for this purpose, two contrasting theoretical positions emerge. Let's see them through this hypothetical dialogue. Teacher 1. I have at least 8 students who are insufficient in the reading comprehension tests. If they don't understand, that's their problem. I must evaluate their ability to understand. Teacher 2. For me, however, it makes no sense to evaluate certain abilities to understand a text. If a student does not understand a new text, there are two possibilities. Either he lacks the basic prerequisites and therefore we must provide them with ourselves, or the text was written badly. Said in other words, for some, the process of understanding is a skill to be evaluated, unrelated to the study process. For others, instead, it is a skill to be built through work on the method. These are clearly two contrasting positions. In the first case, one does not intervene and limit oneself to evaluating a process, while in the second, one intervenes on the educational training plan to optimize the results. The first case has no formative implications, it is only an evaluation. The second has at least two. You need to know what happens during the comprehension process, and secondly, you need to know what to do to intervene in the process and improve it. Essentially, during the process of understanding, two events occur simultaneously. Assimilation, that is, the incorporation of knowledge into a pre-existing scheme, and accommodation, that is, a modification of that same scheme to acquire the new knowledge. More precisely, operations and processes such as those indicated below take place. Operations of dismantling and reassembling the text, processes of decoding, categorization, comparison, synthesis, which conclude with a syntactic-semantic restructuring of the text. But be careful, because assimilation can only occur if the schemes at our disposal are complex enough to allow for accommodation to the new situation. And we must not forget that we cannot assimilate something that is not known if past assimilations have not prepared our cognitive structure to accommodate new material. To better understand the nature of the process, let's analyze a hypothetical situation of a comprehension test given on a reading that talks about travel. In the example, let's assume that on one side there is student 1 who has been traveling since he was little and therefore is familiar not only with the situation but also with the specific vocabulary typical of travel contexts by plane, ship, train, terms such as check-in, booking, etc. And on the other side there is student 2 of a lower socioeconomic background who instead is less familiar with the situation and specific vocabulary because he does not travel. It is evident that student 1 has more suitable mental schemes to approach the text, in technical terms, to accommodate himself to it, than student 2 who does not know certain terms and consequently is unable to reconstruct all the meanings present in the text. Student 1, therefore, assimilates the content read with a certain ease while student 2 assimilates little of what he reads. In conclusion, the first student passes the comprehension test well while the second one makes many mistakes. Student 1's past experiences helped him get a good evaluation. Student 2 received a negative evaluation not due to lack of effort, but because he was unfamiliar with travel and the text. Let us now briefly come to the second point of our reflection, that is, what we can do to intervene in the comprehension process and improve it. The first thing to do is to give everyone the same cards before starting a comprehension test on a new text, of course with some specifications. In fact, if the text is new but refers to a topic of study already covered, it is obvious that we expect the student not to arrive unprepared for the test. The typical situation of many comprehension tests in which the test focuses on a topic that is outside the curriculum of the subject is quite different. In this case, it is mandatory to verify that all students have the prerequisites of knowledge and skills necessary to understand it, to avoid incurring the errors shown previously, as the two teachers in our hypothetical example point out in the next screenshot.
you.